Okay, this is the next part of the coin lab. And I know you thought you were done with it, but you're not. All right, what I did is I'm actually providing you with a spreadsheet already set up. What you need to do is you need to actually figure out what your coins have for content. All right, now for instance, the Morgan Silver Dollar, we looked that one up. It's 90% silver and 10% copper. So what you're going to do is pretty simple. All right, what we need to do is we're going to go and we're going to click in a cell here. And this is going to be density. Now what you need to do is you need to figure out what the density of each coin is going to be, so you're going to have to do that. And it's D-E-N-S-I-T-Y. Alright, so you're going to have to do this. So what I want to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, what's the density of silver? So I'm going to type in equals. Now, not all of the coin is silver, so only 90% of its density comes from the weight of silver. So I'm going to type 0.9 for 90%, actually 0.90 if we want, but it's basically 0.9, times, and then I'm going to look up the density silver. And it's in here now, it's going to be towards the bottom. So I scroll over, there's nickel, which is one we're going to use later, silver, boom, 10.5. And I'm going to hit enter. And boom, 9.45 is the density of silver. Now, it's also 10% copper, so I'm going to type in equals 0.1, okay, because 10% of its 10% of its density comes from the weight of the copper. So I'm going to scroll down, find copper. Copper is 8.9, so that means the density is going to be slightly less than that of silver. I'm going to hit enter, and let's take a look. All right, we'll look back. Oh, okay, so this is the amount of density that comes from the silver. This is the amount of density that comes from. Oops, nope, it didn't do it. Equals 0.1 times. I knew that was wrong because the number just didn't work. Oops. Times. I'm having a little bit of a problem here. Times equals 0.1 times. I'm going to scroll down to get the copper, the density of copper, which is here. Copper 8.96. If you take a look at the equation bar, it should have gone in, and then we hit enter, and then that gives us the two densities. And then what I have to do, all right, you're going to do this right the first time, so it's not going to happen. Okay, so these are the two densities. Now all I have to do is go, I'm going to sum these two up, okay, and I'm just going to go equals sum, and then I'm just going to grab these two guys together. Equals sum, open parenthesis, and then I'm just going to grab these two guys together, close parenthesis, oh, and that's the sum. Okay, so it's 90% silver, okay, 10% copper, so the density of silver times 0.9, density of copper, and this is the total density of a Morgan Silver Dollar. That's what the density should be. Alright, so that gives you the density of a Morgan Silver Dollar, and now what we're going to do is you're going to do those for 5 of the different coins that you did. Alright, I want you guys to calculate the density for 5 of the different coins that you did. And you're just going to do based on what the composition of the silver dollar is supposed to be. Now, it's perfectly okay. You can find that information wherever you like. I think the Mint has it. If you want to go to Wikipedia, that's okay for this particular purpose. But I want you to pick 5 coins and determine what their density is. Then what we're going to do in the next part of the lab, we're going to compare the density of the coin that you calculated to the density that you came up with.